Hello guys, good morning. I'm getting requests on doing a tutorial on how I was able to do this and then do the interaction for this card. For those who are meeting this for the first time, this is what it looks like. So it's a minimalist card for a product, not a real product. I saw it on Twitter by Team X. Big shout out to him for doing it. And then I decided to try it. So this is what it looks like, and it looks really cool. People kept asking how I was able to do it and all of that. So I'm going to show you that in few minutes. First, we'll do the one for the low fidelity. That's without color. Then we'll add colors to it. I'll just use my color palette and choices, and then we'll also go further to add texture to it, right? So let's dive right into it. So I'm just going to create a new page for that. And as you can see on the new page, I have the colors that I used. I have the grays that I also use. So it's simple. You just have to pick one color as your base, which in my case is this purple. And for the gray, this is my base color. So when you pick one color for base, you could use a tool like Colors. It's a website that allows you to check for complementing colors of a particular color. So I just use purple as my base color and then use Colors to get these colors as complementary. And for the gray, I just had to play around with my fill color. So first we want to do is to create a frame, then give it a fill. Now, of course, remember, our base color for gray is this first one, so I'm going to have this, and then I'm going to add the border radius of about 24. 24 is too much, so you can choose a border radius of a choice depending on the size of your card. So I'm going to use 12. I think 12 works. So depending on the size of your card, that would determine your border radius. So once this is done, there are two ways to get the curve effect, right? The curve card. So the first one is using shapes, and the second one is using pen tool. Now, for people that are not familiar with pen tool, I think the shape is just what I'm going to use, which will make your job very easy. So to use the shape, you draw a rectangle. Now, don't worry about the size of this rectangle first. You always modify it. Then the next thing, you draw an oval around it. Now, make sure your oval is at the middle so that you can have a uniform size like this. Now, adjust the oval to how you want your curve to be. All right. So adjust your oval to how you want your curve to be. And once you're done with that, you can now click on the oval, hold your shift and click on the rectangle. Now go to your action panel on the right hand, top right, and go to subtract selection. Now you have something like this. Now what you do next is to bring it into this frame. You can make this a frame if you want, or you can leave it as a text, but in my case I want to make it a frame because I want to put something inside that frame. I want to put the card inside that frame. So now you can adjust your size. Make sure that they all have a uniform size, right? Like the spacing for each of the sides are uniform. So this should be 42. So make sure the spacings are uniform, left, right, and then bottom. Very important. So once you get that out of the way, the next thing you want to do is to give border radius to the edges of this your new frame. So just click twice on it, right, and then you can just use here to adjust till it fits your base. So I'm going to leave it at 8 so you can see that it fits my base, right? So once you're done with that, next thing you want to do is to give this a fill. Go to your fill and then give it a gradient. For this gradient, give the down parts a darker shade and the top parts can be close to your base color, and then adjust it a little. All right, you can always play around with this gradient to actually get your perfect gradient fill. So it looks like an embossed fill that has something inside. You can always play around it. Make sure you do it perfectly so you can have that. So now you have something like this, which looks good, but then this is not what you're looking for, right? This is not what you're looking for just yet. So you're looking for something that makes it look like you're really having like a pocket, right? So the next thing you want to add is you want to add that threaded look. So how to do that is to add stroke. So when you add stroke, you have something like this. Now change your stroke to inside. I will show you why you have to do that. So for my stroke size, I'm going to change to 0.5, and then stroke settings is going to be dash, and then I'm going to use 2 for spacing, right? And then I'll give you the rounded edge, give you the sharp edge, right? I think the sharp edge works better. So now you have this. You have this. For the color of the stroke, you have to make it light so that it would show. So close to your white or gray, you can just leave it there. And then now you have this. It looks more like a wallet now. Now for the next phase of the design, we're going to create a frame, which is now creating the card. So I'm just going to create a frame here and give it a fill. And of course, the fill for this frame is going to be the first one here. And then I'll give it a border radius of 8, or in this case, let's go 12. Yeah, okay, so after creating this card, the next thing you want to do is to bring it inside the wallet. So you have to play around with your layers a bit. So if you check your layers, let me rename this. This is my wallet. This is my first card. Now this will allow me to arrange them in uh, priority order, right? So my wallet needs to be at the top. So I'm just going to raise it to the top so that the card will be inside, right? So that's how you work with layers. So now I can adjust this card to how I want it to be. So I can keep it here because I'm not revealing yet. Let me drop my border radius to 10, right? And now I have the card, but it doesn't look like a card. It looks like just a normal, normal frame. Now to make it look like a card, you go to your effects panel on the right hand side, go to your effects, play with your Y. So I'm going to use the Y and I'm going to put 2. But for this drop shadow now, you have to change it to an inner shadow, right? Change it to an inner shadow, not drop shadow. So I'm going to use 2 for my Y, I'm going to use 3 for my blur, and I'm going to use 40 for my opacity. Now for the color, you are not going to use black. You're going to use your base color, not really the base color, the color of the card, and then move your color to the top a bit so that it gives it that shiny feel, just like this. Then remember, opacity is 40%, right? Opacity is 40%, and you have something like, you can always play around with it just to make sure you have the best result. So once you're done with this, you duplicate it. Sorry, I'm picking the wrong thing. You duplicate it. Where's my card? First card. So you duplicate this, and when you duplicate, of course, you're going to have the same color. So you have to rename this to second card, and then first card is in front of your second card, so you have to keep that in mind. So this is your second card. Give it this feel. Now the same thing, you have to edit the effects, right? I think the effects these days, all you have to do is change the color to the card color and then take it up a bit so that you can have something like this. Now you can bring it down if you want, and then for the next part you have to duplicate this as well and then give it that color again. Now because it's in font, you have to rename it to your third card and then bring the second card to the top on your layer panel. And then once you do that, same thing, go to your inner shadow, change the color to the color of the card, and then adjust it to the top a little. Remember to turn this to 40%. I think I didn't do that to you can always play around with this, right? I didn't do that with this. I think this is still 100%. You can always play around with it just to get the best results, and then you can move from there. Yeah, there you have it. So you have this, and that was how I did this part. Okay, so to do the other parts where the card comes out, you have to now duplicate this, and without any issue, you select your cards, the first, second, and the third card, and just take up selecting wallet, and just increase the size of the cards. Just increase the size of the card, or you can do it one after the other. So I'm going to start with the third card, increase the size. Don't worry, it's not coming out here, and I'm going to adjust that. Increase the size, and then increase. I need to lock this. Increase the first card as well. Now, to show my third card, I need to turn off clip content so the card can show. So remember to also do the same with this. They have to be on the same side, right? So that means I have to take my first, second, and third card down to something like this. All right. So now we have this. Let me take this up a bit. So have enough space to write what I want to write. And then we have the second one. So now we're going to add our text. Of course, we're going to add our text. So we're going to write just the price there, the amount. Sorry. So let's say 40,000. And then we're going to bring this here. Of course, it's going to be at the top of everything. So this will be at the top. We're going to put it at the center. Now give it your favorite color or any color you want. Then take it up a bit. Now duplicate this because you want to write the show cards or whatever you want to write, height balance, whatever. So I'm going to give it 12. Take this guy up a bit, 12, and then do my button. So it's going to be border radius 8. Add stroke to my button, and then give the border radius of maybe 40 to make it rounded, stroke 0.5, and then give it the color. Okay, so I'm just trying to adjust my button to my preference, so you can have something like this. and then make sure it's in the middle. Very important with this one, so both of them sticks. So you can go ahead and add other things like the eye feel, height balance, whatever you want to use here, right? Whatever you want to use here is fine by me. So I'm just going to duplicate this write-up that I have here. I'm going to duplicate it here, all right, and then change this to hide cards. All right, then I'm going to copy this text here to the first card, and then put pounds there. Of course, I'm going to reduce the text size, probably the width, and put it somewhere around here. Okay, and I put it somewhere around there. Then I'm going to add the amounts in pounds. Okay, so let me just put like a random amount. I can't get the pounds, what's it called now? The pounds symbol now. So I'm just going to do it like this. And then I have this. I'm going to duplicate this to the top, of course. And then I'll put here euro. And also duplicate it to the top. And I'll put here dollars. Okay, so you can add your symbol and add whatever you want to add here. So now I have everything here completed. I can move all of these around. I can also move all of these around. So we have this, and that was how I was able to do the low fidelity of it. Let's do the coloring first, and then we can add prototype, right? So I'm going to span my frame, duplicate this here, and now add colors to this top one. So my base color is going to be my purple, which is this. And then for this one, I'm going to play with my linear. The down part is going to be a darker shade of purple, and the top part is going to be a lighter shade of purple. So I have this. Now that also means that I have to take my gradient to be purple and then give it a lighter shade of purple. Right, give it a light shade of purple so you have something close to this. Looks good. Now the next thing I want to do is for my first card. So I'm just going to pick first card from here and then give it this color. I'm going to pick my second card. I'm using my layer to make it easier for me. And I'm going to pick my third card and give it this color. Now remember what we did when we were doing the effect. So for here now, you have to use the main color and adjust it to be lighter. Remember 40% for opacity, or play around with it as much as you like. So for my second card, it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be the same thing. I'll use 40% and adjust it. And then for the third card, it's also going to be the same thing. I'm going to adjust my third card 40 and then take it towards this place. Okay, I think here we have that sorted out. So we'll just do the same thing for here, right? We'll just do the same thing here. So I have this. Or the best thing you can do is to copy properties and paste them here instead of having to redo them all over again. Yeah, you can actually, do that. You can just copy your properties and then paste them where you want them to be. All right. So my first card, I'm just going to go to first card, copy properties, go here, choose first card as well, and then paste properties. And it's just going to give me exactly what I have here. So I can do same for the wallet here as well. So I'm using my layers. Copy properties and then go to the side and paste properties. So this helps you work faster, so you don't have to go through everything again from the scratch. So second, copy properties, come to my second card here, paste properties. Now I go here, third card, copy properties. I go to my third card here and paste properties. And yeah, we have it. No, third card. It's supposed to be third card. Sorry, third card, copy properties, and third card, paste properties. That's supposed to be here. Yes. So now we have this. Now, how do we navigate the prototyping? Now let's do the prototyping, right? So to prototype this is very simple. Okay. So what you need to do is to make both of them a component set. All right. You make both of them a component set by highlighting both of them, and then go to your action at the top right and then create component sets. Now when you create component sets, you automatically make them a component set. So what that means is you can actually prototype from this to this. So go to your prototype, click on show card, and then prototype show card to the other card, right? It's going to show you this interaction panel. This is where the setting comes into play. So for your animation, you're going to change it to smart animate. For curve, you're going to change it to bouncy. Now you can decide to play around your bouncy by going to custom spring and then play around how you want it to bounce and the time you want it to have when it's bouncing, right? So you can play around this if you want, or you could just use bouncy and that's fine. So you could use bouncy, you could use the timer to delay it, make it faster or make it slower, whatever you want to do. So I'm just going to use 1-200, right? So if you click on this card, it bounces to this one, and then if you click on hide cards, it bounces back to this one. All right, so but hide card, you have to make it faster, because if you don't make it faster, it's going to drop the card and then bounce again like several times. So we want to use 600 for that, or let's use 800 for that, right? I think 1000 is fair. You can always play around it, right, till you get what you want. So now we have that. Let's see what it looks like on a prototype. So I'm just going to copy this here as my main variant, and then prototype this panel for us to see. So if we do that, then make it bigger. Now if you make it bigger, it doesn't affect your prototype, so yeah, you're safe. Need to make the screen bigger. Okay, now you see. So now you have this. So you see that when I hide my card, it bounces several times, trying to reveal that amount again. So you want to always adjust this till you get your desired result. All right. So now to the texture field, this is what I did. I went online to search for a leather, right? So when I search for leather, I download a preferred leather. And then if you now come to this screen, the leather is already on my laptop, so I'm just going to use it. Now, if you come to this place, the first thing you want to do is to go to your substrate here, this one that has a curve, this shape that has a curve, right? If you go there, you're going to go to fill. Now already you have a linear fill, but Figma allows you to add multiple fills or add an effect kind of. So you go to the plus here to add a fill. Now when you go to the plus to add a fill, it's going to add a gradient fill automatically, but that's not your problem. Now go change that fill to image and then upload the leather from your laptop. So I'm just going to upload the texture leather from my laptop, and then you can modify it, increase the exposure however you want. You can decrease the saturation so it can be black and white, so that it doesn't show that it has color. But the leather I downloaded was brown, but if I reduce my saturation, it's going to give me like a black leather. And because I already have my what's it called now, I already have my linear color on it, the color of the leather will not show. So you can increase the opacity of the image that you just added to maybe 80. You see that is too much, so you can drop it to like 30 or 20, whatever the case may be. So the same thing to your base frame here, which is at the back. You can add the same thing here. So change to image, upload your leather, and then of course increase saturation and play around with the exposure and contrast if you need to, and then put this to, what did I make this one? 30%. You can make it 30%. And that was how we had the leather. So to do the same for this, just like I always do, there's no need repeating it. Just copy the properties, then go to this one, and paste the properties. Same thing here. Copy the properties here and paste the properties, and yeah, you have your card with the wallet, with the leather feel rather. All right, so if this means a lot to you, kindly drop a comment. If you have questions, you can ask. You can still go ahead to add some other effect like the hiding balance if you want, with the eye icon here. You can get that from any icon plugin. Yeah, I think that is all for now. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next tutorial. Bye.